Dance time it is. Get you started. A little swing time for George out there. It's a 12th Street rag.
If it's true that every celebration has a beginning,
Thank you and enjoy.
this one celebrates an ending.
I'm so proud of you, Grandma.
I'll let them dance all night.
In a Wisconsin ballroom where the music turns back time,
Okay, here we go.
dances a woman who didn't let time run out.
Do you know how to rock and roll a little bit?
For Alice Smith,
Just let her go, boy, and say
this is a dance 65 years in the making.
And that's the one thing I wanted to learn.
But for a woman of Alice's generation in rural Rice Lake, Wisconsin, the lights of knowledge often set at the horizon called the Great Depression.
I remember we had hard times.
When her brother went to fight in World War II, Alice picked up his chores.
I had to help my dad on the farm. He come to me and he said, Alice, you have to help me or I have to go to town and hire a man.
At just 15 years old, she dropped out of high school. By 18, she was married and never went back.
I had 4 girls in 5 years. I couldn't possibly have gone. And this is Jim drinking coffee.
With 19 grandchildren and 16 great-grandchildren.
They just had him in January, Rowan Atlas.
Alice's life is full, yet in her mind, empty.
When Alice would come in, she would come over here and sit at her favorite desk.
So at 78 years old, Alice enrolled at Wisconsin Indian Head Technical College.
And I sometimes think people just thought she was visiting.
Yeah.
Annie Freegan and Donna Stelter were Alice's teachers.
Surprised and nervous because I thought, boy, you know, is she going to be able to handle this?
It wasn't easy for Alice in a learning world that today is all about ones and zeros.
It must be down underneath here somewhere.
Alice is all pen and paper.
But perhaps Alice's best subject was history. After all, she's 80 years old. No surprise there. She doesn't just know it. Alice has lived it.
Well, I remembered more about the Depression than they know. Because we, like you said, I lived through it.
The Depression
Yeah.
taught Alice a lifelong lesson not missed by her teachers.
She taught me never to quit and to always keep on learning.
When your name is called, please step forward to the podium and accept your certificate and tassel.
Now, at 80 years old, Alice Smith
Ashley Baker,
has followed her dream
Kyle Jewell,
straight
Tabitha Bender,
down the aisle.
Alice Smith.
Congratulations, Alice.
She hasn't just earned a diploma, she's earned a record. One of the oldest GED graduates in Wisconsin history.
We're pretty proud. We're very proud.
Are you coming back in the fall, take a class?
I might.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Kind of like seeing you around here.
Yeah. When you get older, you realize what you've missed. And I had so much to learn.
If anyone ever asks, Alice has the proof hanging at home on the wall.
Certificate of General Education Development, Alice Smith.
But where diplomas recognize achievement, Alice's teachers promised a special reward.
She would come in, she says, oh, do you want to know how I did it? You passed, Alice. Oh, we get to go dancing. And she'd go, oh, and she would dance around. And she goes, but I can't dance. And I said, oh, you just have to wiggle, Alice. You just have to wiggle.
Which brings us back to the Pines Ballroom and that celebration 65 years in the making.
It took me a year and a half to do it.
Did it really?
Oh, yeah.
Alice Smith didn't exactly dance through life, but on this night, she proves that endings are just as important as beginnings.
It means that I did something worthwhile.
In Rice Lake, Wisconsin, with photographer.
You're never too old to learn.
I'm Tim Blotz, Fox 9 News.
It's something I've always wanted, to be a high school graduate.
Hey, and we thank you. It's one more time like that, one called The Rose of San Antonio.
When we came back from the war, we were not heroes.
Joe Gomer is a forgotten hero, one of hundreds of black airmen whose stories disappeared with the anguish of World War II. But now that the community that didn't welcome them home
Duluth today is not the Duluth that I came here to.
is trying to give some recognition to these forgotten pilots.
His community should be the ones doing it, not the federal government. Just Duluth should send him.
The city of Duluth is coming together now so a man who lost his own history can see another man make his.
It's such a piece of history. We've never had a black president.
Hundreds of Tuskegee Airmen have been invited to President-elect Barack Obama's inauguration.
Someone evidently figured that we deserved to be there, and we certainly deserved to be there because it was our success that really was a catalyst for this whole social change.
During World War II, Joe Gomer was just a young 22-year-old living in Iowa when he enlisted in the Army. The War Department sent him to a segregated Army Air Corps training field in Tuskegee, Alabama. And there, he was part of an experiment to prove black men could not fly. But Joe and the other airmen proved the Army wrong.
And I explained to him this was my country and I was willing to put my life on the line for it.
Tuskegee pilots escorted bombers into German-controlled territory, and even though they lost few bombers in their care, the pilots never received recognition for their bravery.
A pilot did come over to thank us for saving him, and when he got there and saw nothing but black faces, he turned around and left.
And when the war ended, so did their story.
But we didn't get any recognition at the time.
But now, more than 60 years later, their dream, their legacy, is coming full circle.
Well, it's just nice to know that success has finally come around. It's been a long time coming.
A long time for America's first black pilots, even longer for the country's first black president.
Well, like I say, I never expected to see it in my lifetime.
This is a huge piece of history. He needs to be there, and we need to get him there.
Duluth can't send all the Tuskegees, but they can send one of their own.
We should be that grateful to send him for what he's done.
And what he did helped turn a nation that couldn't call him a hero into a nation that's making history.
And I'm looking forward to the new America. Many of my friends gave their life and never got to see this.
With producer Kara Owens and photojournalist...
Well, the time has come.
I'm Tim Blotz, Fox 9 News.